All right, today's Friday Flow is going to be kind of in a theme of safety, physical safety, listening to intuition, healing from previous experiences of maybe not being physically safe. And I just wanted to speak to that because of existing in the world. So we're going to start with those affirmations and then good feeling flow about safety and embracing yourself, trusting your intuition, and things like that. So let's get started. My boundaries are sacred and non-negotiable. I am always allowed to say no. I trust my body's signals without needing to explain them. My intuition is ancient, wise, and always on time. I feel safe trusting my inner voice. I am allowed to take up as much space as I need. I do not shrink to make others comfortable. I move through the world with awareness and ease. I know when to speak up and when to let it go for my safety. I have a right to be safe in every space I enter. I do not owe anyone my body or energy. I release shame that was never mine to hold. I speak clearly even when my voice shakes. I trust myself to walk away when something feels off. I am powerful, gentle, and deeply protected. I honor the sacredness of my body. My no is a full sentence. I listen to the soft voice inside and honor it. I am allowed to change my mind. I do not need permission to protect myself. I hold space for my pain and my power. I surround myself with people who respect my limits. I walk away from anything that costs me my peace. I choose environments that support my safety and joy. I deserve love that feels safe and calm. I deserve love that feels safe and calm. My energy is precious and I protect it wisely. I am learning that safety is not selfish. It's essential. I am safe to speak up, even when it's hard. I am not responsible for other people's comfort at my expense. My instincts are not paranoid. They are protective. I can walk away without guilt. I do not tolerate manipulation masked as love. I am allowed to take breaks, pause, and reassess. My healing is not linear, and that's okay. I validate my own discomfort without waiting for others to agree. I release the belief that being nice is safer than being clear. I deserve relationships where I don't have to guess if I'm safe. I am not too much. I am just enough. I hold compassion for my younger self who didn't know better. I do not chase what makes me feel uneasy. I protect my joy as fiercely as my safety. I create space for both softness and strength. I give myself permission to heal at my own pace. My body is a home I choose to protect. I am always worth the effort of safety. I am the guardian of my energy and my spirit. I do not entertain what doesn't honor my nervous system. I am worthy of rest, peace, and protection. I stand tall in the truth of who I am. I return to myself over and over again, and that is enough. I love that part. I return to myself. I've said that before. It feels really good. All right, we're going to get into stream of consciousness. Let me just take a deep breath. I love the feeling of evolving into something beautiful, strong, and powerful. I love the feeling of saying no when I mean it and only saying yes when it's a hell yeah. I love the feeling of embracing myself, my boundaries, and speaking up for myself. I love the feeling of knowing that I'm attracting people into my life, friendship, professional, romantic, the people that are supportive, encouraging, and celebratory of me, of my choices, of my curiosities. I love the people and appreciating the people that respect my boundaries, that respect my limits. I love the feeling of embracing into my life change. I love the feeling of change. I love the feeling of evolving. I love the feeling of becoming something more than what I am and who I am right now. I also love and embrace who I am in this moment in time and space and reality, but I also support and encourage myself in evolving and being ever changing. I love the feeling of having love in my life. I love the feeling of knowing that I am responsible for my own comfort and not responsible for anyone else's. I love the feeling of speaking my truth. I love the feeling of saying yes without guilt and saying no without guilt. I love the feeling of unlearning shame and guilt that was indoctrinated into me by culture, society, or religion. I love the feeling of releasing what no longer serves my higher purpose, my higher self. I love the feeling of protecting my joy. I love the feeling of fiercely living my life the way that I fucking want to. I love the feeling of embracing myself. I love the feeling of expression. I love the feeling of curiosity. I love the feeling of rest just as much as I love the feeling of action. I love the feeling of letting myself be in my being. I love the feeling of being. I love the feeling of expression. I love the feeling of taking in and savoring moments. I also love the feeling of taking action, expression. I love the feeling of taking action in my curiosities. I love the feeling of taking action when there needs to be a no, there needs to be a conversation, and releasing or letting people lose me who do not appreciate or support or respect my limits or my no's or my boundaries. I love the feeling of speaking up for myself. I love the feeling of becoming stronger and more powerful. I love the feeling of standing tall and powerful in who I am and who I am becoming and the woman that I am becoming. I love the feeling of embracing my softness. I love the feeling of also embracing my strength and my power. I love the feeling of knowing that there's an ebb and flow in life, in energy, in feminine and masculine energy, in the yin and yang, in the ocean and ogun of my life, of my body. I love the feeling of embracing myself. I love the feeling of making my home a sacred space where I love to be and feel safe. I love the feeling of being worthy. I love the feeling of being worthy of everything that I want, I desire, that I'm curious to try. And I also love changing my mind and releasing things that I'm no longer curious about, and it's okay to do so. I love the feeling of knowing that I can be exactly who I want to be. I love the feeling of becoming the woman that I am meant to be. I love the feeling of being ever evolving. I love the feeling of listening to my instincts. I love the feeling of taking steps toward who I'm meant to be, where I'm meant to be. And I love the feeling of also releasing those that do not serve me, things that do not serve me, energy that no longer serves me. I love the feeling of releasing old thoughts or patterns and ways of living that were not serving my higher purpose, my higher person of who I am. I love the feeling of being clear. I love the feeling of speaking proudly, clearly, and firmly. I love the feeling of embracing myself. I love the feeling of embracing my worth. I love the feeling of knowing that I always return to myself by listening to the curiosities and desires in my heart and in my gut and in my brain. I love the feeling of returning to myself and feeling really whole. All right, that felt really good. That felt really good. Gonna finish this up by putting my palms together and my thumbs at my forehead. Thanking Source, the Creator, moving those down to my lips now. Thanking my protectors, my warriors, my ancestors, my teachers, my mentors. And then to my heart, for me, being the co-creator of my life. And not just becoming stronger from enduring shit, but becoming more powerful because I'm in charge of who I am and who I become.